Well, good morning. It is Wednesday, and the title of this video is Metamorphosis. And that's what I feel like I am going through. But first, let's get to the items that we normally go through. Friday and Saturday were listing days. I did hit my complete goal on Sunday, which is a huge win for me. And I also I also finished my accounting for last month, and it proved to be growing the store, and I had a big boost in my numbers, which is another huge win, which I am extraordinarily happy about. I will continue striving to hit those numbers and get to the goals that I have set for myself. And hopefully those numbers will continue to show the efforts that I am putting in. So today's word is going to be kick the tires and light the fires, because yesterday um, was an experience, and that's why this is called Metamorphosis. As we stand right now, it's Wednesday morning. I am way behind on my listing goals. I had issues with photographing, picking, getting the right colors for certain things. Very frustrating. At this moment, I know more about iPhone photography than I ever wanted to know. I just want to point and shoot, get the photos done, get them listed, and move on. So I did put my husband on that task. He's so much better at trying to figure it out. Could I do it? Yeah, I could do it, but I get frustrated way too quickly, and it's a challenge for him, where I just want to keep on moving and I don't want to deal with it. So I went back to basics. I just have my ring light now. If I have to adjust the lighting on my photos, fine. I'll adjust the lighting, brighten it up. Much easier than trying to get the right colors. It worked well yesterday. I'll continue to use that. I'm not putting on any other lights, and I will move forward with that. So um, I finished a short story from Ruth Ware, which is one of my favorite authors. And I typically don't like short stories. Um, it gives you way too much liberty to put your own thoughts into it, and I don't like that. I like reading what the author has planned, right, in its entirety. That's why I love novels, and I love big novels, so that I can go through and I can identify where they're going and where they're going to. It is one of my favorite things to do. Um, it is. So the short story was good. It was very good, but I'm putting my own thoughts into it. It was, did I say it was called Snowflake? It's called Snowflake. So that was finished. And right now I am reading a book by Patricia Cornwell. Um, she's another one of those authors that is very intricate and very detailed. But I didn't know that she was such a fan of Jack the Ripper. And I also didn't know that she has uh, done so much research into Jack the Ripper that she knows who Jack the Ripper is or was. I didn't realize that she had a prior book to the one I'm reading right now, which is um, I'm reading Chasing the Ripper, but Portrait of a Killer is the first book of which I will go back and read. Um, it astounds me um, how from all those years ago in the late 1800s that they couldn't find this serial killer, and according to her, um, he was in everybody's faces, every single person in the hierarchy. So I'm excited to read it. Um, so we talked about anomalies, the anomalies that I'm having with my blood sugars. And what I did was I tweaked my basal rates and I dialed them back uh, one um, 1 unit for each of the three basal um, rates that I have that go throughout the day. And um, yesterday morning, I was thinking about what I was going to talk about in the video and whatnot, and I was going to say, "Oh, I think it's working." I haven't had an episode in several weeks. What does that tell you? I know. So, not to say that my sugar hasn't gone low. It has, but in a much more normal fashion, right? So, something I'm used to, not from, 100 to 50 in seconds, right? So my sugar go low, I go eat something. If it was very low, my favorite jelly beans, um, and I was okay. But there's something else going on. Something else going on. Um, I went downstairs, 5 o'clock. I went to go feed the dogs. And it was like, oh, yeah, I can feel myself. I'm getting low. I'm going to have a peanut butter biscuit, which has quite a bit of sugar. Um, and so I ate that and I waited the 15 minutes. I took care of the dogs and whatever. But it just felt like it wasn't going back up and it wasn't. And my pump was annoying me. And when I'm low, I just don't want it there shaking and alarming and everything. I know I'm low. Thank you. I get it. I'm trying to take care of it, right? But there's this chill that I get internally. I've never gotten it before. It's it's bone chilling and I'm freezing from the inside. And I had the biscuit. I had a cheese stick. I went my husband made brownies for Mother's Day. We'll go through that too. It was so pretty. Mother's Day was good. I had half a brownie, excuse me. The brownie, obviously, because it's, has a lot of fat, um, and chocolate, it's gonna take longer to digest, so that 15 minutes is not gonna work for you, you need a good 30 minutes in order for it to kick in, and I waited, I was being very patient, but as I was waiting, I had this throwback, and when I first met my husband, he had a roommate, and his name was Jason Abel, and Jason also had type 1 diabetes. As a matter of fact, this was back in Miami. As a matter of fact, Jason's doctor was the head of the DRI, and my doctor was directly underneath the head of the DRI. And so sometimes we would meet up like on our doctor's appointment. Yo, Jay, what's up? And and he was a very good friend to Phil, and, we went and visited him, we lived our lives. He was a wild child, and he played it hard. He drank a lot, he played around, where I am a lot, um square, I guess you can say. I don't drink all that much. I watch what I eat. Um I was not a wild child. I wasn't. There were times where I did, but they were rare and far in between. Um But the point is that we had our children, he finally settled down, he got married, he had children, I had Phil, we had, our kids, and one morning we woke up and we were, very close in age. One morning, Phil and I woke up to find out that Jason had gone on a boat, and he was gonna go fishing for his birthday with some friends, and he had a massive heart attack, and he died right there, and that hit me so hard, and I kept thinking to myself, "Oh my god, he's so young." We just got into our 50s, like, 51, 52. We just got in there. And, nowadays that's young. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, is that gonna happen to me?" It was it was it was very difficult for me to deal with on a different level than it was for Phil to handle it. That was a really good friend, but if you're not if you're not a type 1 diabetic, um, and I would even go as far as saying my error of type 1 diabetics. It is so much different now than it was back then, right? Um, these thoughts go through your head all the time. Am I doing the right thing? uh, why did my sugar go up? What did I eat? What did I miscalculate? What didn't I do? What I didn't exercise. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. All those kind of things go through your head, whether you want them to or not. because you know your life depends on every decision that you make. And quite honestly, I don't want to leave my kids yet. I don't want to leave them yet. So that was hard. That was hard to get over. But so back to the topic of metamorphosis. I I could read my body and I could prevent the lows. I could uh no, I didn't prevent the highs. I feel safer in the highs than I do in the lows. Lows absolutely get you within minutes. A high will take days. And so I play my cards on the high side. Always have. And it has been shown that stability in your numbers is what counts. It is the all the way up and all the way down, all the way up and all the way down. That triangle is what hurts you the most. So, um, but my feelings are different now. This chill that is coming in from my bones is something I just don't understand. And although I had the biscuit, I had the cheese stick, I had the brownie, it wouldn't go away. I covered myself with blankets and I fell asleep. I had all intentions after feeding the dogs to come back upstairs and work for a couple more hours. I fell asleep. And this is the metamorphosis like I feel like I'm going through. By the way, this is a very, very cool story. I bet you didn't know that Mikolai Brezhnev is my absolute favorite dancer. And I was living in Long Island at the time, and he had started a new dance studio, and he was going to perform in a Broadway, off Broadway, and he was a star. I drove one Saturday all the way down to the box office. I got front row seats for myself, my mom, and my sister. And we went, and it was called Metamorphosis. That's the point. It was called Metamorphosis. And so I was sitting there and I was watching him in just absolute amazement. Amazement. So anyway, I'm gonna speed this up. You don't want to hear all this stuff. But anyway, so everyone, the show ends, everyone leaves, but I'm standing there by the stage and I'm thinking maybe I get one more look at him, right? And these Russian men um are going up the stage and I was like, "What? I'm gonna follow them." So I did. I followed them and they went backstage and they asked me what I was doing there in English and I was like, "Oh, I love him so much." And I figured I'd follow you guys and they're like, "Oh, okay." So they get to Baryshnikov's um front door and of course there's a security guard and they start speaking Russian. And I don't know what they said to the security guard. I have no idea. But the security guard let them in and he's like I guess he said to them, not, "What's who is she? She's not going with you." And the one guy grabs me around the shoulders and is like, "Oh, she's with us." And so I am now in Barishnikov's crappy, crappy room. He has just gotten out of the shower. He has a towel around his waist. He has a towel like shaking, drying his hair, and they're speaking Russian, and I'm just dumbstruck. Like I am standing in front of Nikolai Baryshnikov, and I'm looking down at his disgusting, ugly feet, but I don't care. Yes, I got the bill sign. Yes, they introduced me. I said, "Vanessa." He said, "Nice to meet you." He signed my bill, and off I went. It was the most exciting day of my entire life. I went out the back door and I'm screaming, "I saw him! I met him!" I said one word, "Vanessa." That's it. That's all I said because I was so shocked and astounded that it was unbelievable. So anyway, I feel this metamorphosis coming in, and I am going to have to figure out what is going on and how to deal with it. And I will let you know what happens because I don't understand it myself. If you have any idea what is going on with me, please, please let me know. You have a great day and take care of yourself, and I will be back tomorrow. See ya.